Throne Liberty is in a spot where it's not losing numbers like it were once before. It has kind of stagnated in around 15,000 player peak and somewhere between 7 to 10,000 average numbers. Now it's still losing numbers. However, they are making a lot of changes, and we have a massive update coming soon where they're going to introduce hyperboost servers and stuff. But there's still many things that I would like to see changed. Now, Throne Liberty is having like a content creator meeting discussion about how to change the game. I am not invited, but that's why I want to make this video to give my input, and hopefully they can take some of this and fix the game, because I want the game to do good and succeed. So let's just jump into it and see how we can fix this game. The first thing I want to talk about is alliances. Yes, I talked about alliances for almost half a year or a year now, and alliances were good at the start of the game because people were playing this game, figuring out, doing massive PvP. It was fun stuff. People were doing sieges and stuff, and yeah, sieges were really fun. But now you're in a place where you don't have a lot of players playing the game, and alliances are dominating absolutely everywhere because all the whales are inside the big guilds, and then all the big guilds are allying together so they can get all the loot. Nobody cares about competition anymore. Nobody cares about competing. People just want all the loot. So when there's Nebula stuff or there's Siege or any alliance related things, it's just one major alliance. Maybe if you're lucky, you're in some server and you have a smaller alliance fighting the big alliance, but usually the big alliance just gets absolutely everything, which leads to only 3 or 4 guilds fighting other 3 or 4 guilds, and all the other guilds cannot compete in that content. They can't come to Nebula, they can't come to Siege, and it just becomes boring. And it even becomes boring for the winners because even though you're getting loot, you're not getting any fun out of the competition or the PvP. So, in my opinion, if they remove the alliance system completely, it will make it more fun. Now, how will that change the PvP? You're probably asking, like, how would that change? That will lead to, instead of having one big alliance fighting a smaller alliance, you will have all the guilds, 10, 12, 15, 20, how many guilds there are in your server, they all will participate, will all fight each other. So it's going to be a bunch of 1v1s. Of course, there's going to be always shadow alliances, but way harder to coordinate and control. And in my opinion, will make the PvP way more rewarding. Everybody has a chance, slim chance to get loot and win, no matter your guild size. And I think that will make guilds way more active and the PvP way more competitive. So no longer you can just sit there with your major big alliance and just win everything. And I've been in one of those alliances, don't get me wrong. Like, we were getting loot and stuff, but in my opinion, it was boring because either people just leave the server and to go get some loot, or they just join your alliance. It just becomes super stale and not competitive at all. So removing alliances, I think, is the main important thing that they have to do ASAP. Second thing is, we have weapon swapping in this game, right? You can swap to whatever weapon you want, which, in my opinion, I think is a great idea, but people are starting to hate because in every single MMO we play recently where you can swap weapons, they make it impossible for you to swap weapons. The only people that are actually swapping weapons and changing weapons and leveling them up are whales. Is that a coincidence? They make it so difficult because you need to buy the gear, you need to get the weapon mastery, you need to have everything correctly, and this is expensive. If you're gonna get like ArchBoss weapons and stuff, and you're gonna compete in PvP and stuff, because sometimes some classes are just stronger. The game just does it. So weapon swapping, I think, should be a way easier way to do it. Either way to trade your gear into a different type of gear, like some MMOs have. Maybe pay a little bit of lucent, which is fine, to swap your gear. Something. It should be a much easier process than what it is currently. It's way too expensive. Me, I play since day one. I try to dibble in a spear, but it's just too difficult for me because I don't play enough to have the weapon mastery. I haven't spent any money in this game, so I don't have the lucent to do a swap. So if you have this option in this game to swap weapons, but it's so hard to do it, it makes no sense to me. So make swapping weapons, they need to be an easier way to test out different classes, or test out different weapons and change your gear to it, so you can match it. So hopefully they do something about this. I think it's a really important thing. And since we're talking about weapons, I gotta talk about heroics. Heroics is a great addition to the game. I don't like it because it is extremely pay to win. I mean, I made a video on it very recently where it comes to like trading it. Like, look at this. To trade, to get the trait, you need to pay $100 per trade. So you need $300 just to heroic trade it. and you need insane amount of materials, which is fine. Leveling it up slowly is fine, but heroic traits are just expensive. But what I want to talk about is the traits. When you have a heroic weapon, you can only wield one heroic on your gear piece, right? Now, I got hit chance on it, but I should have the ability once maxed, or maybe if you hit it level 12 or whatever, or you max traded, I should have the option to swap the trait on the heroic weapon, not the other, on the heroic weapon, to whatever I want, like this, without paying anything. Because a heroic weapon should be able to work for both PvP and PvE. You shouldn't have to either select PvP traits or PvE traits, right? Or you have to like compensate. As a heroic, it's a legendary weapon, you should be able to swap the trait to whatever I want. So if I want to, let's say I want to do PvP now, not PvE now, I can be like, yo, I'm going to swap my hit chance to attack speed, done. When I have it maxed out, it makes no sense. Heroic weapons are so good, it takes so much grind, and you have to pay every single time to swap it just because you want to do PvP. Makes no sense to me. So heroic weapons, you should be able to swap the traits for free once it's maxed and the weapon is maxed. Like, it takes so much money and so much grind, and there's no way to kind of abuse it in the trading house system, because then what will happen is people, you're probably thinking people are just going to buy the cheapest trade and then max it out and then swap it, which is fine because that will balance the prices in the auction house, guys, which will be even better. So some trades won't be super expensive, so trades won't be super cheap. All will reach a good level, and at the end of the day, it will be much better for us as players to be able to do PvP and PvE or whatever we want with our heroic weapon that we finally gotten. So hopefully they do that. Next up, we want to talk about our new players. Now, they are adding hyperboost servers, which is good. However, new players still struggle to catch up. And the main ways new players struggle is, of course, they make absolutely no lucent because, you need to drop the relevant gear to get it, and none of them are going to get it. They probably have to pay to win and stuff. But what they could do to make it easier for new players is runes is one of the hardest things to level up. Look at this. I finished my season ranking, guys. All of this. And I did last season too. And look at this thing. Look at my rune levels. I have skill damage resistance at level 77. You can see it underneath my face. At 77, skill damage resistance. It's not even close to 90. Right? And I done everything when it comes to dimensional trials. If I cannot get it even above 80, how are new players supposed to do this? Huh? How are they even going to get a chance to increase their combat power or anything? You're just increasing rune levels for like the hardcore players, but that just means that the new players can never catch up. So there needs to be a catch-up mechanic for rune levels for sure for new players. You are giving them a bunch of math, but it's not enough. The second thing is weapon mastery. I played this game since the start, but I took a break. My weapon mastery is only 172. And most of the people that are hardcore playing are 200, who grinds every single day. But weapon mastery is really hard to level up to in this game. They need to make it either you obtain more weapon mastery now, or I know you can get black anvil weapons, but they're just for endgame players. New players get nothing. You have to think, new players don't have black anvil weapons. They don't barely have any good food. They barely get probably any abyssal contracts, right? So they need to make a catch-up mechanics for those things. And they should get some kind of epic set right now so they can hit 5k CP. Hitting 5k CP will help a lot of new players because then they can enter the raid and can start grinding on their heroic weapon. I think would be a really good thing. So new players definitely need a different system so they can join the game whenever they want and don't have to wait for like hyperboost servers. They will make it easier with the hyperboost servers most likely, but it should be like a thing inside the game, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, maxing stuff out is still going to take hours and hours and hours. Even though the game helps you a little bit, you still have to grind like all the last 20 levels of runes, which takes a long time. Weapon mastery up to 200 takes a long time. Getting the right gear for your class still takes a long time and it's expensive, but need to make easier for new players. And that leads me to my next subject, which is rewards. Doing things dailies in this game, they made it easier with Da Vinci's Favor, which is a good thing, but it is so underrewarding, guys. It is so underrewarding. You barely get any match. You need trade unlock stones up your ass. Like, it's so many of these. It's actually insane. And I played from day one. I did take a small break, of course, but like, this is just for my weapon, right? And I'm gonna be out of my unlock stones. What's gonna happen when I start working on my gear piece, my accessory piece, right? I don't have materials for it. However, casual or new players or just people that are trying to get by able to get these mats, and when you do dungeons you barely get T2 loot. You get like really bad gear, it sells for nothing. The rewarding system for ArchBoss, Nebula, I never dropped a Nebula accessory in any of the Nebula pouches or inside a Nebula ever. It's just been really bad. Like the rewards in this game by doing dailies is really unrewarding, so I don't do it. Luckily, they added now that you can loot 3 chests at once. So I do my dimensional contracts now, so I can get 3 loots at once. But getting 3 loots at once is what is needed to make it feel a little bit rewarding, because the game doesn't reward you. You can do dailies every single day. You get like tiny bit of things. You can spend hours and hours in dimensional trials. You get a little bit of upgrades. The game is just not rewarding enough for materials and stuff. People that have played this game for thousands of hours should not be struggling trying to get a new gear set, level up their weapon and stuff. Like, this is one of the only MMOs where I have thousands of hours in, and I still can't swap to a different set. I still can't get the best weapon because I have to pay. It's absolutely insane. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. So the game definitely needs to be a little bit more rewarding when it comes to the loot that it gives. Next up, I want to talk about DpsMeter. Now, I do agree. I do know why they're not having a DpsMeter in this game, because they want people to not get left out, elitism, everything. That still happens in the game. You can't get away from it. But in my opinion, to balance it out, what they could do is they always put a DpsMeter for the highest difficult rate. Nowhere else, not in Dimensional Trials. In Dimensional Trials would be nice too, but maybe Dimensional Trials 15 plus. If people want to do it, you can have DpsMeters. But hard content, like hard raids, difficult raids, there should be a DpsMeter, so you know that you can complete the raids. You don't have to spend thousands of hours. I've been pugging. You guys been watching my streams. I stream on Twitch and YouTube when I do my raids and stuff, and I pug the raids, and it's so hard to know if people are decent or not. You spend thousands of hours to waste people time because you don't know if they have the damage. So for difficult raids, I think there should be a DpsMeter on the bosses. Or when Nightmare difficulty unlocks, Nightmare should have a DpsMeter and then remove it from the heroic. So always the hardest raid difficulty should have a DpsMeter, in my opinion. It will make it so much easier for pugs. And since we're already talking about raids, this is extremely important. Please do this. Raids should not have trash mobs to clear. Either you have one elite boss to get the buffs, but the trash is absolutely insane. When Nightmare mode comes out and you're going to join pug groups or anything, you have to clear all of these mobs over and over again. And then you're going to get to the boss. You're going to spend 3 hours on the boss. You're going to wipe. You're going to leave. And then you have to join a new party and you have to clear the mobs again. And then you try for 40 minutes, it doesn't work out, you have to leave. You join a new group again, you have to clear mobs over. You spend like hours to clear mobs. Raids, Dimensional Trials can have mobs, whatever. Dungeons can have mobs, but raids, you're supposed to go in there and fight bosses. That's the whole point of the raids, right? You find the end game boss, not go inside a raid and do a bunch of dungeons. So usually what MMOs do is you don't have any ads or cleared or mobs to clear. It's so annoying just to clear the mobs every day or every week. So I think what they should do is to get the buffs, the 3 buffs. You fight one elite, little elite mob, one elite mob, and one elite mob to get the buff, or you can just go straight to the boss without any buffs. There shouldn't be so many trashes to clear and stuff. Imagine they add a raid where you can't push mobs off platforms. It's gonna take so long if they add a new raid. So please remove mobs and trash from raids, okay? Just add them in dungeons where they should be. Raids is supposed to be about the boss, so please let us just do it about the boss, okay? And I think many of you guys will agree with me on this. Next up is we need better balancing and faster balancing updates. I mean, balancing in this game has been horrible. They've been better a little bit now by nerfing certain classes and buffing certain classes, but balancing has always been an issue in the game, and I kind of see it from a company perspective. You make a class super strong, like the spear, people swap the spear, the whale swap the spear, they buy the spear, all that stuff, you keep it, and then you make a new OP class, and then the whales will swap the day. It's a money-making scheme. Like, I'm not stupid. But please, for your players, please make it a little bit more balancing for PvP. I think that would be people would really appreciate it. So work a little bit on the balancing for that. Next up is artifact system. I thought we were gonna get an artifact system change with the new artifacts. This they added. This is horrible, guys. It makes life a little bit easier, but it's horrible. Artifacts is easy to get. I mean, blue artifacts, but to get the good roll is impossible. It's impossible to do. Even if you give us bigger inventory, it's still such a pain, guys, to deal with. Just revamp the whole system, make it like runes. uh Artifacts released many months ago. Nobody cares about artifacts anymore. Just let us get good artifacts from blue. Let it be an automatic process. Stop making it so hard for us to open our inventory to try find the artifacts. It's not fun. Nobody does it. People sit on thousands of chests. Is that a right thing? That as a developer, if people are dropping so many chests of artifacts, they're not opening it because it's so annoying. Is it a good future? No, it's not. It's not a good future. Remove it. Completely change the artifact system, make it similar to runes, because I know you cannot do it a rune system right now because of how the artifacts work, but just change how they work. Do it like similar to runes or something, like extra attributes or something. Like, people would really appreciate it. We are really annoyed by the artifact system. Just completely change it, or even remove it, or give us some stats in exchange, okay? Because we don't want to lose the combat power, but just change it, please. Okay, it's not that hard. Fix bugs and issues faster. Now, the game has proven itself that MMOs will always have bugs and issues. You get a new update, you get a new patch, there's a bug, there's a maintenance, whatever. Just be better at fixing it. Faster communication, fixing it much faster. Only time I seen NCSoft prioritize any exploits is when there is Lucent involved. ArchBoss exploits, somebody getting extra duplication chests, somebody duping branches, instant fix. But there's other bugs, like right now there's a bunch of bugs in the game. Skills are not working. I think wand skill is not working. Devo, when you guys fixed the Devo, it didn't give damage buff anymore. Like, so many bugs that just annoy players and ruin a ruined experience are not fixed. It takes months and weeks and months to fix it. Like, this is not happening. We are communicating with you. We write in the Discord. We give feedback. It should be an insta fix, right? Like, yeah. And then when you make a major update, you should be available. You make updates on Thursdays. You should be available on Thursdays after the update to fix things if it's not working, instead of waiting many hours and then putting it down for maintenance again. So please be better at fixing bugs. It's gonna happen. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not mad that you get bugs in this game. Just be faster at fixing and punishing players, which is good. You guys have been doing this lately, like punishing players, but fixing bugs, please. Now, when I want to talk about the Riftstone, the game has Riftstones that people never do anymore. It's just basically like these things, and to make them active again, the Boonstones and Riftstones, you guys can do a really small thing that will fix this. Strong guilds are controlling this. The longer you hold the Riftstone, the more debuff you get. So let's say I'm the Dark Gods, okay? I have held this, I'm getting resources, whatever, or like a Boonstone, whatever. Let me just use an example. I have this for 1 week. After 1 week, I get everybody, when I do Riftstone, will get a minus 10% attack and defense debuff. I hold it for 2 weeks. The whole guild gets a minus 20% attack and defense debuff. I hold it for 3 weeks. It just stacks. That way, as a guild, as a weaker guild, I can wait now, and they will get the resource for 2-3 weeks, and then as a guild, I can challenge them. I'm like, okay, now they have 3 stacks, okay, of debuff. Now we have a chance to challenge them. And if you somehow win as a weaker guild, you can only hold it for 1 week before the strong guilds take it again. That will make it a little bit more fun doing Boonstones or Redstone. People actually do it and actually compete. Inter-server thing is good, but it will just make way more competitiveness inside servers, even for weaker guilds. So it'll be a more fun thing to do. And then last but not least, I want to talk about ArchBoss weapons. I love the idea of ArchBoss, like strong ArchBosses. They're, get the weapon is really good, but please make it more accessible for players. It should be like a guaranteed way to drop items or materials for it every time you do a raid. Even more, there should be some kind of pity system to obtain them easier. Nebula accessories too. I know that you've added the Nebula pouch thing, which is good. You have added now you have added ArchBoss to the guild raids, which is good, but it needs to be a better way. Just think about like new players and casual players. They have absolutely no chance to get these items. Even me, I played for many hours. I use me as an example because I've actually played the game, and even I have never dropped an ArchBoss weapon or Nebula from the Nebula pouches. Right? There is guaranteed ways to get it, but it's, in my opinion, very tiresome. I probably should do it, but make it a little bit more accessible, obtainable. I know it's your way to make a lot of money as a company, but it needs to be better. But that is it. That's my suggestions. I think I have a bunch more, but I don't want to like overwhelm. And most of the suggestions that I give, it's not a completely revamp of your systems. It's very similar and simple changes that are very easy for you, for the developers to actually do. The only big change that I actually mentioned was probably like changing the artifact system, which is absolutely horrible. But aside from that, most of the things that I mentioned requires very little dev effort and won't make massive changes to the game. The one thing it might affect you guys, NCSoft and AGS, will be maybe a little bit more money earned, but it will increase the playability of the game, which will lead to more players playing your game, which will lead to, again, more money earned. That's just business 101, right? If you get more players playing, and then buying battle passes here and there will lead to more money instead of always looking out for your whales. Because if you always look out for the whales, it's going to happen like every single MMORPG. Only the whales will keep playing until they get tired, and then you have no player base and no money made anymore. So please just make some of these changes. They're not really hard to do. It's very efficient, and I do think Throne of Liberty can survive with a big update coming, and with these changes can be a good thing for the game. Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys agree? Thanks to all the channel members. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let NCSoft know and AGS know about what I'm saying. You know, go send them the video, all that good stuff. Check out this video right here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.